It's time for Kansas City to go on the clock. Sponsored by Price Chopper. Right now on KSHP 41.
It's one of the NFL's biggest nights, and Kansas City will call it home this week. I'm Dia Wall with KSHP 41 News, and KC is on the clock as tens of thousands of fans converge on the Metro for the NFL Draft. In the last few weeks, a massive undertaking at Union Station and the Liberty Memorial. Event and construction crews working non-stop to transform this area into the focus of the sporting world. This weekend will feature a first for the league, the largest stage ever built, all in front of Union Station. It'll be larger than a football field, and the NFL will use more LED screens than any previous draft, with 10,000 square feet of LED panels and screens. And why not? It's going to be arguably the most important event for several hundred players. Life-changing for families and players who dedicated their lives to perfecting their football skills. Nights like this go beyond the lines, as most families who have kids playing sports know. Also, it's a huge night for the Metro. Kansas City hosting the NFL Draft for the first time, bringing with it thousands of fans and millions of dollars for local businesses. Let's get to it. First, we want to start with the people making this event happen and all the work done to turn Union Station into the focus of the football world. For that, we turn to Megan Abundis.
Soggy roadblocks have to come first in order to move in all of the pieces that will put Kansas City on the big stage, transforming it into something like these past NFL draft sites in Nashville and Las Vegas, packed with people and their favorite teams.
I think it's going to be the most beautiful backdrop the NFL draft has ever had, just, right in front of Union Station, having people on the lawn. Like, what a unique opportunity for the NFL draft to have this space that's so natural and built into the city be the platform for where they can host an event. And I think it just is going to highlight Kansas City a lot.
Some have chosen to not only go to the NFL draft, but be a part of it. The NFL has partnered with teammates, they're volunteers. Amy Regan knows what could help make it a success.
The best weather. The best weather. It would be great to be outside all day in Kansas City in April. Just, a sunny day with a lot of people who are out there, bringing their kids to play some of the games in the NFL draft zone.
The museum lawn will transform from this into an interactive draft experience for all ages.
Oh, it's a double doink!
I did sign up for the game day activations, and so they were looking for high energy people who wanted to be on their feet, so that's me. So I'm pretty excited to be a part of the draft experience and kind of just play football games all day is what I think is about to happen.
Expect to see 3 days full of games, attractions, and experiences to get people up and play, and it's all free.
I want to make sure that I'm the best volunteer there.
Yeah! You did it.
So I've looked at videos from past drafts, and I'm just trying to make sure I know how the games work, but we will be going through an NFL draft teammate training so that we know what we're doing.
The architecture on the top, the sides.
This week is all about transformation.
Union Station is going to look completely different.
Matt Jones is making that happen.
I really want people to look for the visual aspect.
From the top of a swing stage, window washed scaffolding, spotters everywhere, the graphics go up.
A lot of up and down, side to side, a lot of twists.
It was honestly very cool. I mean, the amount of construction that's happening is kind of incredible.
Everything that could have a logo, the sidewalk, radios, chairs, soda fountains, tents, Lettersmith and Company out of Olathe, Kansas is behind it.
Anywhere from 2-inch by 2-inch stickers all the way up to huge building murals.
Jones's work started years ago designing the Royals' left field wall. Fast forward, he was chosen to wrap the Super Bowl field in Arizona, the NFL honors red carpet, and the Chiefs' victory parade.
It's the biggest game on the biggest stage. And then we get the added benefit that the Chiefs are really good. I'm excited for the city. I really am. I think it's going to be unbelievable. I'm hoping the crowds that show up for the Super Bowl parade or the Royals in 2015 show up for the draft.
But it's not just about enhancing Union Station. All of Kansas City gets to be in on the fun. They'll also brand the Link, the Sky Bridge, and Crown Center behind me. Liberty Memorial and many other buildings downtown get special treatment too.
Hopefully, we're over 100,000 people. We can showcase Union Station and what they've done over the years to get this building back up to where it's at. It brings a lot of revenue in, whether it's merchandise, whether it's hotels, whether it's restaurants, bars. Kansas City's in a good spot.
In Kansas City, I'm Megan Abundis, KSHB 41 News.
If you'd like to be part of all the free fun Megan mentioned earlier, you need to download the NFL One Pass app. Once you're there, you can register for the draft experience, assigning you a unique QR code to gain entrance to the festivities. And remember, it's all free. Going to the draft, here are the times you need to know. Gates for the fan experience open at noon on both Thursday and Friday. They stay open until 10 p.m. On Saturday, it runs from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. If you're going, here are some reminders about security. You can bring in small, clear bags, strollers, and reusable water bottles. All alcohol and smoking is banned, along with any weapons, chairs, or pets that are not service animals. We know it's a big question for fans, how to get there and where to park. Grant Stevens went out to show you all the locations you need to know about if you're planning on attending the draft.
This is where we're trying to go, the National World War I Museum and Memorial. And normally it'd be easy enough for Jack and I to just roll right in, but with road closures and tens of thousands of people expected to be here, that complicates where you can park and how you'll get there. To cut down on congestion, and we are expecting a lot of it, the city is asking people to park somewhere downtown, maybe near the Kauffman Center where we're at, or in the Crossroads, maybe further down in the River Market. Parking, getting on a bus, or of course, taking the streetcar. This stop is the end of the line. The one at the Union Station, it will be closed throughout the draft. So I hope you pack your walking shoes because it's about another 15-minute walk from here to Union Station. Of course, you may choose to try and skip all that and order a ride from your phone using Lyft or Uber. 27th and McGee is one of the main pickup and drop-off locations for ride-sharing apps, but you won't be completely able to skip the walk. It's still about another 10 minutes on foot.
Thanks, Grant. Touching on the streetcar again for just a second. If you're planning on riding it, expect a streetcar every 6 minutes. The high-capacity schedule will be running for all 3 days of the draft. And as Grant mentioned, the Union Station stop will be closed during the draft. Instead, riders will get off at the Crossroads stop and then walk over. You know, getting to this day was an all-out blitz on multiple levels. The city, the NFL, volunteers, businesses, so much more. We saw all the stuff that crews put up around Union Station, but Charlie Keegan shows us all the city construction projects ahead of draft day.
We're in the perfect mix right now. Kansas City just entered a new fiscal year, which means it has a new pot of money. The draft is coming up later this month, and spring is here. To resurface the roads, you have to be above 40 degrees.
Road resurfacing is the most obvious sign of change.
There's potholes that can swallow cars in some areas, so.
Braden Wilbeck is happy to see crews working along Cleaver 2 Boulevard. This road work happens to be outside tourist destinations like the Nelson Atkins Museum of Art and the Plaza. But don't jump to conclusions.
47th Street had nothing to do with the tourists. It has everything to do with the condition of the roads.
At a news conference, Mayor Quentin Lucas touted plans to resurface more miles of road this year than ever before, which will impact folks well outside the draft's footprint.
People want to be in a city that works and a city that is actually taking care of things that are necessary.
Within the draft's footprint, the city has improved Washington Square Park. It plans on painting and focusing on trash cleanup. The mayor understands the opportunity to impress tourists.
I'll drive down here, this is a nice area to be, bring the family, visit. Yeah.
And not have them bump around in the back seat?
Yeah, tearing up my car.
You don't want that.
No.
And tourists already like what they see. In Kansas City, Charlie Keegan, KSHB 41 News.
Still ahead, what it takes to make the podium on draft night. Local players and coaches who once suited up in the NFL talk about the work needed to make a professional roster. And Chiefs needs and possible targets. Draft specialist Nick Jacobs weighs in on who the team may take this weekend.
It's the stage where future NFL legends are introduced. That stage is coming to Kansas City. 4 days away from the NFL Draft, Kansas City is on the clock.
It's an iconic scene. The NFL commissioner walking to the podium and speaking those lines that we all know so well.
With the 30th pick, with the 10th pick, with the 32nd pick, the Kansas City Chiefs select. The Kansas City Chiefs select. The Super Bowl champion, Kansas City Chiefs select.
That means a player's life and his family's life change forever. For local fans and possibly players in the draft from right here in the Metro, this year's draft is a dream come true. It also gives hope to young kids here. Hope that one day they could call a place like this home. Mackenzie Nelson talked with KC natives who made it to the pros and the coaches who helped them along the way.
We big time. I mean, Kansas City is a special city.
The spotlight is on Kansas City as the 2023 NFL Draft is just around the corner.
You know, you got a suit on, you got your jewelry, it's all about that shine. Don't forget the process, how hard these young men have worked to get there.
Brian DeLong was the football coach at Center High School and has 2 former players currently in the NFL.
Both great kids. You know, Malik Collins in his 8th year, he plays for the Houston Texans, and Rashad White in his 2nd year plays for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
A lot of talent coming out of Kansas City.
Having coached high school ball here for a long time, I've seen a lot of great players come through this city.
Former Fort Osage football coach Ryan Schartz said Skylar Thompson, the former K-State QB who got the call that changed his life.
We were fully prepared to go undrafted. And then next thing you know, I get a call from the Miami Dolphins.
With the 2023 NFL Draft just over 2 weeks away, Thompson recalls what it was like for him about 1 year ago.
Everybody started going nuts and going crazy, and he handed the phone to Coach McDaniel, and I couldn't hear a word he was saying. I was just hoping that I was being compatible with the conversation because I couldn't hear anything.
With one of the biggest events to ever come to Kansas City, Thompson is hopeful it means something for young kids.
Inspire the kids to go accomplish their goals and shoot for the stars, you know, like that's the biggest thing for me.
That was Mackenzie Nelson reporting. Skylar added that he wanted to be in Kansas City to cheer on some of his former K-State teammates, but he's staying in Miami to get prepared for the upcoming season. Good luck to him.
Coming up, we break down the needs of the Chiefs and their possible targets. Plus, the Superfan VIP experience. The honors a select few in Chiefs Kingdom will get to do on draft night.
It's the stage where future NFL legends are introduced. That stage is coming to Kansas City. 4 days away from the NFL Draft, Kansas City is on the clock.
We've talked about the work from city crews, volunteers, and the NFL itself. But as we approach this week, all eyes are on what the Chiefs plan to do when they're on the clock. For us to get an idea of what that could look like, Mick Schaefer breaks down where the roster stands right now.
It's a big draft for Kansas City, of course, but every draft is a big draft for the Kansas City Chiefs, picking 31st this year. On the offensive side, some key departures from the championship team. Both tackles are gone. Orlando Brown is now a Bengal. Andrew Wiley is now a Commander. 2 receivers departing. Juju Smith-Schuster is now up in New England, and the Jet is a Jet. McCole Hardman now catching passes in New York. So some positions of need ranked by our Chiefs expert, KSHB 41 sports producer Nick Jacobs. Wide receiver, they brought in some new guys, but no true number 1 maybe yet. Jawan Taylor is the new left tackle. Chiefs need to settle on the right side, though. Depth at tight end and running back as well. And, of course, the team sustained a number of losses on the defensive side of the football this offseason. Frank Clark, the playoff standout, he's been released. Still a free agent. The Chiefs lost starting safety Juan Thornhill, too. He's now a Brown. D-tackle Colin Saunders is now a Saint. So here are the top Chiefs positional needs on the defensive side, according to our Nick Jacobs. Defensive end, edge rusher, always a priority. After that is defensive tackle, and then coverage linebacker. Got a big board of mock drafts that can all be found at kshb.com. Dia?
Thanks, Mick. So now that that's settled, it's time to look ahead to draft night. Our own Nick Jacobs looks at the team's needs and the faces that Chiefs Kingdom may soon be cheering on.
The Kansas City Chiefs and general manager Brett Veach head into the 2023 NFL Draft with 10 picks. The Chiefs will have multiple opportunities to enhance their roster at positions of need. We start off with the offense. The Chiefs could use additions at the offensive tackle spot to pair with free agent signing Jawan Taylor from Jacksonville. Kansas City could also benefit from multiple additions at wide receiver, the team lacking a go-to threat since their trade of Tyreek Hill. After that, the other possibilities include an heir apparent at tight end for Travis Kelce and additional depth behind second-year running back Isaiah Pacheco. The first possibility could include offensive tackle Anton Harrison from Oklahoma. Harrison is a mauling style of run blocker that has a good punch and stays in position on his pass sets. At wide receiver, the Chiefs will potentially need to decide between the strong route running of Jordan Addison from USC, the combination of speed and elusiveness from Zay Flowers of Boston College, and the size of Quentin Johnston from TCU at nearly 6'4". Veach will keep his eye out for every opportunity.
Versatility is high on the list on really all across the board on both sides of the football at every position. I mean, guys, receivers that can play inside and outside, and tight ends that can be difference makers in the pass game, but also block.
On the defensive side of the ball, the primary need will be pass rushing help at defensive end and defensive tackle. The team needs a reliable one-tech to be stout against the run and allow Chris Jones to take on limited double teams. Additionally, the team could use help in coverage linebackers and value at the cornerback position. At defensive end, one of the better options would be Myles Murphy of Clemson. If he drops into the range, the Chiefs can trade up for Murphy, who is arguably one of the best pass rushers athletically in the draft and gives constant effort to create turnovers. On the interior, Mazi Smith from Michigan. He is 6'3", 337-pound one-tech with serious strength, an ability to bull rush, and lateral quickness to go with it. Chiefs general manager Brett Veach is always looking for compatible players.
He wants these guys to be all on the same page and all in tune and be ready to fly and be ready to play fast. And but I mean, obviously there'll be certain traits with running his scheme and playing 4 down, being long, athletic.
The Chiefs will be looking to defend their title in 2023. The draft in Kansas City is the next step in keeping their throne. Nick Jacobs, KSHB 41 Sports.
The man calling the shots behind the scenes, Chiefs GM Brett Veach. I was able to sit down with Veach in an exclusive one-on-one about the upcoming draft. What are the biggest things that you look for in a prospect? How many prospects are you evaluating?
Yeah, well, we've shoot hundreds and hundreds. I think every year it kind of varies a little bit on our draft board. I think last year we had 215 guys on our draft board. I think we do a good job of working to lower that number and to make it quality over quantity. I think the number's down to 200 now, but that's a process that probably started at 5, 6, 7, 800 names, and you're working these names down and you're eliminating guys, and to get to about a 200 prospect list of names on the board.
Be sure to catch my in-depth sit-down on Monday. We talk more about the draft room, possible staff traditions, and if all of this being in Kansas City affects his approach to the draft.
And when we come back, the VIP experience for superfans selected by each team. And why one previous superfan for the Chiefs wants a redo. You're watching KC on the Clock.
It's the stage where future NFL legends are introduced. That stage is coming to Kansas City. 4 days away from the NFL Draft, Kansas City is on the clock.
The draft is an NFL fan's dream experience, especially for those who are lucky enough to be invited to attend by their favorite franchise. It's something a local Chiefs superfan had the chance to do back in 2014. KSHB 41's Charlie Keegan joins us with his unique story that has him begging for a redo.
Riding Roger.
I couldn't get past the front door of Gary Friedman's house before he started talking about his draft experience.
I represented the Chiefs.
The Chiefs paid for him and his wife to go to New York City for the 2014 NFL Draft. The package included airfare and hotel.
They gave me a nice hotel room, but Andy Reid upgraded personally the room to the penthouse. I mean, it was a room that I would never be able to afford to rent.
Friedman was on stage when the Chiefs made the 23rd pick. But Dee Ford wasn't in New York, so Friedman had to shake Commissioner Goodell's hand instead of handing him Dee Ford's Chiefs jersey.
I was pretty disappointed.
That was the only letdown for Friedman, who went home with a jersey of his own. The Chiefs know who will be in the inner circle when the draft comes to Union Station. Friedman won't be among them, but he knows the city will make it an event worth remembering.
I think the NFL will be really surprised how well we have been prepared for it and how good a show that we're going to put on.
Charlie Keegan, KSHB 41 News.
The Chiefs invited certain season ticket members to their inner circle for days 1 and 2 of the draft. Each will get to attend an additional experience as well. Some will walk the red carpet, one will hand the jersey to Goodell like Friedman was supposed to do, and another will read a pick on day 3, if you can believe that. A final thing before we close, this is just the beginning. Our coverage picks up this week. We'll start with live anchor coverage Monday morning on KSHB 41 News Today. It'll continue all week, including our Casey on the Clock specials at 6:30 every night. Finally, we'll bring you post-draft specials online Thursday through Saturday, starting at 10:30 p.m. As for draft coverage, from the announcement Kansas City would host, to prep work this month, to stories of fans during the draft later this week, as well as so much more from our digital team. Go to kshb.com or download our free mobile app. A lot of fun is ahead, KC, and KSHB 41 News will be here to bring all of it to you each and every day. I'm Dia Wall. Thank you so much for watching.
Thanks for watching Kansas City on the Clock on KSHB 41.